question that everybody has in their head in terms of what we were using cookies for and what we will not be able to do anymore once they go away. So, in terms of usage of cookies, it comes into four main strategies in digital media buying. First is, of course, the very basic, which is frequency capping, which essentially lets you limit the number of times a user sees your ad, right? So it helps with reduction in ad fatigue, increases your reach, and also reduces the spillage of your ad dollars, right? So this has been a basic strategy in almost every campaign used by every marketer. The second strategy that cookies was used for is personalization, right? So personalization comes in two aspects. One is when the visitor visits my website, based on his past browsing and purchase behavior, can I change his experience on the website, right? Secondly, if the person is visited on my website and is right now reading the news somewhere, what product or service do I place in front of him to ensure that he has a propensity to click on that ad or creative and come back to my website and purchase that product? So personalization essentially is used for these two aspects. The third aspect is behavior targeting. So supposing a brand doesn't have any pre-existing group of users that have visited them and they want to reach out to new users. In that case, behavior targeting is something that was enabled by DMPs and data sellers. So supposing someone wants to reach out to young mothers or working professionals, white collar professionals. So this data was collected by the DMPs from various data sources using cookies. And with the deprecation of cookies, collecting data from various sources will become much harder and almost obsolete as a technique for targeting. And the final and the most used technique or feature of cookies was retargeting. Essentially, chasing users across websites who have at some point visited your website and viewed certain products and showing them those products and services. Now the level of sophistication in retargeting changes depending on the provider. So you have DCO players who are way more AI driven, integrating the brand's catalog and showcasing products that are highly relevant to the user. And then you also have players who just look at the last page visited by the user and just showcase that product or service to the user on various websites. Now, what is common in these methodologies and what's also the point of contention today is cookies, which would enable multiple parties, the advertiser, the ad tech platform, the publisher, and the user to seamlessly synchronize this information using cookies, right? Now, the digital advertising ecosystem primarily is split into two formats of advertisers. First is the performance advertisers who are optimizing to a certain LTV, and second is the brand, which is optimizing for reach. Now, it's great that we have Anagha and Deep here who represent the largest spenders in each of these categories of advertisers. And in my opinion, deprecation of cookie would have a very large impact on performance advertising. Not so much of a huge impact on brand advertising because performance relies on one-to-one attribution, whereas brand is more on brand building, recall, etc.